All right, well,
You're smiling, Mr. Fichter.
ready?
Good, you.
Good to go? Okay. Oh, who said that? Is she ready? Okay, we're just starting. Okay, welcome to the Board of Selectmen's meeting of August 20th, 2018. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Laura, this is the actual citation you left me here?
Yes.
Oh, great, thank you.
Okay. Citizen statements and petitions. Nothing. Meeting minutes.
That's you, Mr. Schofield.
Oh, sorry. Where are my motions?
You can take mine.
Thank you for waking me up. I move to approve the meeting minutes of 4/23/18, 5/7/18, 6/4/18, and 7/16/18.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence to the board. Consider an abatement request for ambulance transport. Number 4.
Chief Harris is here to talk about it.
Chief, come on up.
Is this... Have we had this one before and didn't decide, or?
This is a different one.
It is a different one?
Yes, it is.
I don't know why the name looks familiar.
Looks familiar.
I don't know why.
The other one's a different name. It's close, but not.
Okay.
I can tell you who about this later if you want.
I was submitted a letter by the family to ask it for this, would you have a copy of the letter?
What did we do last time?
Had to be, that was a while back.
I believe we accepted it the last time.
Yeah, but abatement could mean
I-
0 or any number between 0
I
and...
think we did 100%.
We did? Guys are looking at the letter itself. These are the minutes. Here we go.
Requesting a fair discount.
I don't know what that means.
It might be just the way you wrote the letter.
No, I get that, but I wonder what the expectation is. That's what I'm asking. Do you have any kind of opinion on this, Chief?
I was gonna go for full abatement. I am also meeting with the coastal people, our billing people on Thursday morning at 9:30. They've just submitted me a whole bunch of other abatements that they wanna talk about. So if there's any question to that there, I can take it with me when I go back on Thursday.
So do you
The
expect,
problem is where you stop this.
right, do you expect that, you said you expect more will come to us
Yes,
soon?
they've submitted a list of probably 30 or 40 that are old bills, a couple of years old and so forth. And I meet with them on Thursday to discuss with them what procedure we're gonna go forward with, if it's collectible or non-collectible and so forth. And when I received this, I had already submitted this to you before I was notified by them. So I was gonna go back and visit with them on Thursday to go forward with any other ones that they have.
Okay.
I just don't think we should make a practice out of them, making them 0.
Right, because now, I mean, not to say this is the case, but if we always do this,
Right.
then are people just gonna write us a letter every time they get a bill, and the board's practice is to just not
Yeah.
have them pay?
And frankly, ambulance receipts is one of those things that are low on local receipts that I'd mentioned earlier.
What I can do is I can take that back with me, meet with them on Thursday, and get their representation of what they want to do with this bill. That's what I was gonna do in the beginning when I first came up here, but I was gonna talk to you before this started, but I was gonna take this back with me to Coastal Billing and find out what they see
Coastal
as.
care one way or another.
Coastal's our billing company.
No, I understand that,
They
but why
could-
would they care what we abate it to, if anything?
They won't, but they can give me the background, if there's any background to this, if there's bills been sent out 13, 14 times, 10 times, whatever their bill schedule is that they've been sending out.
I think in this case, though, they're taking responsibility, they're trying to figure this out, right? So
Right.
even if they received it 13 times or 10 times, it doesn't make a difference how many times they got it.
Yeah, see, I'm okay with doing something. I just
Yeah.
think we should establish some kind of policy, some kind of approach that we take.
Yeah. You know, I kind of look at these things as a case-by-case type of situation. I know it's hard because you want to be fair and equitable to anybody that comes up looking for an abatement. You know, but, you know, it's, I guess, you know, it all depends on the situation, right?
Yeah, but we don't know very much about the
There's not-
situation,
no-
and how much should we even ask?
Yeah, yeah, I don't know.
See, my gut feeling tells me 25% of the number.
Well, I think we should hold off for this meeting and come back to this in the next meeting.
So what will happen between now and the next meeting in order to make a better decision?
I need to think about it a bit.
Okay, okay, and I'm okay with that too. I'd like to be able to think about it too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That works. Thank you.
And if you find out any more information on it,
Yep, I'm gonna meet with them on Thursday morning at 9:30 in Sutton. So I'll get their, what they've done, how many times they've sent it out, and so forth, and why they feel as though it's not collectible, and bring that information back to you.
great. Thank you. All right, and I think you're here for the next one too, right? Consider accepting the donation of a used Rescue Alive ice sled from the Holden Fire Department.
Yep. I had contacted Chief Kessler, and I told him that the department lacks a way to get somebody off the ice other than using the boat. He put the word out that we were looking for a rescue sled or something of this nature. The town of Holden happened to be getting a new one. There's nothing wrong with this sled here, but because of something that's going on in their community, they were giving it to them through a grant from a company. So when they had this as excess property, Chief Kessler called me, and I immediately contacted them to see if we could get it. We did receive it. I've already gone and got it because it was going to be donated, and I have to come to you folks if we can keep it or not. So I just thought to be the best way to do it would be bring forward to you folks.
What possible reason would there be to say no? Okay.
That's why I
move to
jumped
accept
on
the
it
donation
immediately.
of a used Rescue Alive ice sled from the Holden Fire Department.
Second,
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Great,
and there it is.
thank you.
I'm actually trained on that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Hopefully you never have to use it.
Well, we know who to call now, right?
and I think you were part of our training when we did it too, weren't
We had one in Holdale when I was over there before I over here to train with.
That's where I got the idea for
Consider a one-day special license, beer and wine only, for Mendon Upton Youth Soccer Association.
I move to approve a one-day special license for beer and wine only for Mendon Upton Youth Soccer Association Socktoberfest fundraiser to be held on October 13th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Second?
Have we done this before? Have they done this?
Every year.
Yeah,
They do it every, oh, yeah?
But I don't think they call it Socktoberfest.
yeah, that's a new name.
That's a new name.
But we've been giving them the one-day alcohol
Mhm.
license. Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
And where are they doing this?
Right, where?
It's at the, it's usually at Memorial Field, right?
Yes.
Oh, Memorial.
Yep.
Let's see, Memorial Field, yep.
So we're just saying the same process, you know, voting slips and check with the chief to see if he needs a detail, et cetera. And I would assume that the individuals that are hosting it are gonna be tip certified and all that other stuff too. I mean, that's what we've been
Yes.
requiring.
Yes.
I'm sure they're gonna do the same thing we've asked them to do.
Every year.
Yeah, they're always very responsible.
Right.
I'm just asking if it's, the same process is gonna be followed, that we've been
Well, I
putting
wouldn't
on
know
everybody
that,
else.
but is there anyone from their group here?
I'd informed Ms. Harvey that we'd be here tonight. Obviously, she didn't come, so,
I mean, is the one
Who's
that,
the- who's the
Miss
person?
Harvey.
Camille Harvey.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, she's always the one that
Yeah,
does.
she was here
Yes,
last
yes,
time.
in the past, she's absolutely said that tip certified.
Okay.
I will send her a message and tell her to make sure
Yeah.
that's the case, confirm it with her.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Interview and consider the appointment of Henry Marshall to the Capital Planning Committee. Henry, come on up. You can lead the question if you want.
Me?
Because you're part of that committee.
Henry,
How's everyone?
my first most important question, will you still mow my lawn if you get appointed?
Absolutely.
That
Or
could
I'll
be a
make sure John
conflict
still
of
does it.
interest.
Well, see, that's the thing.
It's a
I
great
have some
question,
resumes here
Rich.
if you
Thank you for
wanna take a
starting
look at
off.
them.
You,
with that.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I have some resumes if you want to take a look.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Where do you go to school, Henry?
At the university.
I knew we would.
Thank you. Thank you.
What made you interested in this particular
So,
position?
as you know, I've been a lifelong resident of Mendon, and as an economics finance student and someone that has worked in the financial services industry, I'm interested in the well-being of Mendon and specifically economically the state of Mendon and its capital assets and infrastructure. So that's really what piqued my interest in this particular position.
And so are you clear on the difference between the capital planning committee and the finance committee?
Yes.
And maybe just explain that quickly?
Yeah, so the capital planning committee is in charge of advising on Mendon's, or the use of Mendon's capital assets and infrastructure and the planning specifically to those, while the finance committee is more of what the town is doing with its financial resources.
Well, the capital planning committee does care about financial resources. The only difference is, the main difference is the capital planning committee is specifically focused on identifying and prioritizing the capital needs of the town and advising the people of Mendon on
Yes.
what the most important acquisitions might be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. That's gonna help out.
I'm just looking at your resume. Way to go, Henry.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So are you still doing the Fidelity internship right now, or are you
That
done?
ended on Friday.
Ending
Yep.
Yep, there you go. Nice. Fantastic.
It's a nice GPA too.
Thank you.
How many more years till you're done with school?
2.
Okay, so you're right halfway through.
Yeah, well, I'm going into my junior year right now. Yeah, so exactly halfway through.
Yep. So are you going to be able to have the time to dedicate to this and
Mm-hmm.
also dedicate to your studies?
Absolutely. So Bentley's only about 45 minutes away. I'm home on most weekends anyway, and classes end my classes end before like 3 p.m. every day.
Yep.
So I definitely have the time to come back to town, and I usually do anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely.
Wait. So you're living in?
I'm living in Waltham. Well, obviously I'm a resident of Mendon.
No, that's not why I'm asking, right? So you're living at school.
Yes, exactly.
And you're coming home on the weekends. See, I
And-
don't let my kids do that. If I'm paying for the joy of having them away, I want them away.
I'm the opposite. I love having my kids at home. So
That's you sweet.
I am. So, so why now, Henry? Why, with everything going on with school and this is a big load right here. that
Right.
You already got going.
No, to be honest with you, now is kind of when I heard about the position and
Yeah.
thought I could help out and thought that it would be, some good experience. So
Sure.
that's
Would you have-
pretty much the reason.
Would you have heard about the position from a friend of yours that might also be on the committee?
I did, yes. And of course, you mentioned you were on it as well. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, listen, I actually am excited about having, a younger generation come in and help step in and help try to steer the way, and could be the beginning of a long term in municipal service. So
I
Hope
know
so.
about that, yeah. Being young and being involved in local government, so
Laura,
great to see.
should we appoint Henry tonight? How many total members that bring us to? Is it 6?
Let me check, 1 second.
I'm sure it's 6, so we have one more left. Do you know off the top of your head? No, we don't,
Check the webpage.
okay. Okay, well, while she's looking, so we probably will meet, and Matt probably already told you this already, but when we get into the groove, we'd probably be meeting once a month, on an ongoing basis. I think we may have to meet a little more often at the beginning, because there's some things, one-time things we need to do to catch up on that have been let lax, like a CapEx planning report with everything in it that the town needs. So that sounds about doable? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But if it's during the week, though, you can still come.
I can still come. Yep.
And you're willing to take on some homework out of the committee also?
Yeah, absolutely. Not a problem.
When do you think the first meeting will be?
Well, we've already had that,
Had
but
that, but-
we're having a little trouble scheduling meeting number 2.
Rich, this will bring you to 6.
Okay, 6, okay. And I'm pretty sure, it's not it's a 7-person committee, right?
I think
Yeah, don't
so,
worry,
yeah.
it's fine.
It's probably 7.
Okay.
Okay.
I move to appoint Henry Marshall to the Capital Planning Committee for a term to expire on 6/30/2021.
Second.
You'll be graduated by that point, won't you?
Will be.
All right.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Looking forward. Now, listen, your first job on the committee is to remind the chairman to get a meeting set up.
All right.
We've been waiting.
Will do.
All right.
Will do. Thank you.
See you,
Thank
Henry.
you. Discuss festival committee.
Did you say Festivus?
Festival.
Oh.
Hello. You.
Mrs. Rehendo.
I know it.
What's that?
I've never been to one of these.
You have it? Oh, welcome. You should come more often.
Right.
Love to see you.
First formal visit to the board.
Excellent.
Before we gotta get into some of the subjects we want to talk about, I thought, member of the Brothers of the Brush, kind of give a little intro for the group. As you know, last year we celebrated our 350th birthday celebration. We had a great turnout, a lot of participation, a lot of support, and a lot of feedback from a lot of folks that kind of wanted to continue that same concept of having these community events. So from that, the brothers wanted to see what volunteers we might have from the 350th committee that would want to continue as the festival committee. So we reached out to some folks, and you have 3 of them here in front of you tonight. Consists of 5 individuals. First, we have Jean Fickner next to me, Sally Riondo, and of course, you know, Dan Byer. And the other 2 folks that serve on the festival committee are Alan Greenberg, and the 5th one is Ann Dudley.
I'm sorry?
Ann Dudley, yep. Those are
So-
5 individuals.
So is this a festival committee of the Brothers of the Brush?
So what this is kind of a group that works in conjunction, or as kind of a supporting arm for the brothers. So the Brothers of the Brush, for those that may not know, we're kind of a community organization that looks to do different community events. And so we wanted to kind of create an extension of that. So folks like these folks here that can kind of go out and reach out and come up with different ideas for hosting different types of community events. Part of their goal would also be to reach out to some other groups in town, such as maybe even reaching out to, like, through the senior center, you know, Friends of Mendon Elders, working with things like that, possibly to the school, you know, other established groups through the Scouts, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. Just try to work to kind of keep that element of community kind of going with being involved in creating different events, working with the brothers to kind of help lend that support to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was thinking that this was more of a request to make this a formal town group, but, I mean, I don't really think that's a good idea, to be honest. Because I think that you have more flexibility as an independent organization, like the Brothers, having them as a kind of a subgroup or subcommittee of your group. There's more flexibility to do what you need to do without government being involved with
Is
it.
that you, were you requesting that?
No, actually.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is I was thinking that's what this was,
Right.
and so now I'm understanding that.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Festival of the Brush.
I'm sorry, what's that, please?
The Festival of the Brush.
Yeah. It's always a festival.
You guys like to have fun.
Yeah, so the goal would be we wanted to kind of keep that private
Right.
entity, if you will, was the goal. And one of the core elements that brought the festival committee here tonight was to talk about boot drive opportunity, was one of the subjects. And to kind of come before you folks to talk about that, opportunities for that, kind of get the understanding what's involved with possibly them being able to do that. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dan, and any questions you folks might have, feel free to.
Sure.
Yeah, so I believe, I don't know if we have a date set, but the committee is looking to do 1 to 2, I think you refer to them as toll roads, the fundraisers, to try and raise funds. Really, the big thing is, our goal is to have some sort of a fireworks big festival in August of 2019. So similar to the block party, but up at the park, so we're not shutting down the whole center of town, because that was quite the production.
Awful fun, though.
Oh, it was
Lots
great.
of fun.
But I think that's kind of the driving force, is that countless people expressed that they really enjoyed that event. I mean, it was really, there were all sorts of community events, groups were involved. I think it'd be nice to, for an opportunity to have a fireworks show in Mendon. So that's kind of our ultimate goal, would be a big kind of family day in the park festival with fireworks at night up at the park in the end of August.
Yeah.
But as we learned, that's not cheap. I think the fireworks for the 350th were around $8,000.
Can you work quick and get one done this year?
So that was the plan, was to do a big, and then it was like, you know what, let's take a step back and do it right, and, take the time to plan the event and not just rush into it.
We have a couple of other events.
Yeah, there's a whole series I can. So right now, the first event is October 26th. We're planning a Halloween party. I believe it's 7 to 11 or 6?
7 to midnight.
7 to midnight at the End Zone. I believe tickets will be on sale very soon. There's the annual tree lighting, and now hopefully annual Santa Parade that is being worked on. That'll be November 30th, I believe. There's some is there St. Patty's Day? Is that still on the list? Or is
We
that?
haven't discussed that one yet.
Okay.
But that'd be the following.
Yeah,
We're
basically-
trying to get through this year
Yeah.
first.
Just try and pick a couple events each year, maybe add a few more, partner with groups if we can. But so I think right now the request is, what is the process in terms of doing one of those toll road fundraisers? Are there any
Just
sort of-
requesting it to us, and then we
Yeah.
approve it, and
Yeah, that's
Work
pretty much
with-
what everybody else has
yeah.
done.
And we were kind of hoping to have one this fall and then one next year, so we'd have 2. And the money would be specifically for the fireworks. So
Sure.
that's what we're kind of asking for.
Okay.
do you know when you want to do it, or you're not sure yet exactly?
Well, not when it's really hot.
Right, right.
I don't do well with the heat, as
Sure.
we all know. So I think we were thinking maybe September-ish, I think, maybe September.
So when you determine a date,
Mhm.
just send a letter to the board and request that we approve it, and then we can do that.
Okay.
Okay, and then we do the same thing for next year as well? Okay.
Is there any element of public safety that has to be involved in the process?
Yeah, we usually ask that you discuss it with the chief to, at least make him aware, and if he has any specific requests, then you can go from there.
Okay, that
All right.
sounds good. That was easy.
That was.
Any questions of the board for the committee, or?
No, but you know what I would say? I don't know if any of you know Scott Godowski. Do you know
Yep.
him? It might be worth just picking up the phone and giving him a ringy-dingy, because he does the one for the Knights of Columbus. I've done toll road every year with the Knights of Columbus too. And he probably has some good ideas on approach, because he has a certain way he places the people and the way he deals with the cones and et cetera, and rotating and stuff. So it just might be worth having a quick chat with him to see if there's anything he would recommend to you.
Yeah, especially if you have kids with you, and stuff like that, so. Not really a question, but more of a comment. It's really, just thank you. The importance of what you guys are doing, I'm not sure if folks really realize. But what you're trying to do is bring our community together. And, that's something for years, we stepped away from. We've been so busy with other things, and we did small little events, but, with the 350th last year, I really felt a big rekindling of and sense of community, and to be able to keep that going and keep our neighbors close and kind of keep that, that Mendon culture going is pretty important. So I commend you guys for being willing to step up and do this, and, on the coattails of the Brothers of the Brush as well. So thank you all for really doing this, and I look forward to those events.
Thank you.
Well, to echo what Chris says, when I ran for selectman almost 6 years ago, I saw, due to the political climate in town, there was a lot of, you had two different groups really, and everyone really wasn't together. And growing up here, there were a lot of events that the community would come together for, and that kind of went away. And so, especially last year for me was really special because there was that togetherness feeling, and so, yeah, it really is appreciated for what you do.
It was fun.
It was.
Keep the fun going.
Keep it going.
Keep the fun going. Mendon's a fun place to live.
That's right.
Hey, I got it. We could get hats. Make Mendon fun again.
They'd probably sell well in this town. Okay. Anything else?
Not sure if you want to put that in the town crier, but
No, you can.
And then we're gonna build a wall between here and Uxbridge and make Uxbridge pay for it.
okay, moving.
Don't put that one in the crier. Thank you.
I can't help myself, I'm sorry.
Really. Okay, next, consider signing the state primary warrant.
I move to sign the September 4th, 2018 state primary warrant.
Second.
Further discussion.
Is really, that's
It's
the,
just signing the ballot here.
yeah, okay, but there's nothing for us on there.
No.
It just is what it is, yeah, okay.
And if we don't sign it, then no one can vote for anyone. I don't know how that really works,
Okay.
actually. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for helping me.
There you go, young man.
Make Mendon fun again.
There you go.
Consider the appointment of Chief Kersey as the Director of Emergency Management.
Can we pass over that one?
I was thinking that.
Sit down. Speaking of passing.
Good evening.
Good evening. All right. So last time we spoke, we were talking about emergency management, how we were vacant in that position. Since then, I've emailed you Mark's proposal about the deputy director. I think I've talked to each one of you about the whole purpose of having an emergency management director as a department head and someone organizing and running it. We've met with the town administrator, Mark, myself, and I, come up with a proposal that we agreed on, so now it's up to you guys to think about whether or not you want to go with it. So we're sticking with the plan of, obviously, I'd be the emergency management director. I'm always here. Going forward in the future, we don't know where the fire department is, so usually it's, I don't know, 50-50, maybe some police chiefs are the emergency management director, some fire chiefs are.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I want more on my plate, but as of right now, if we go the direction of a fire chief, he's gonna have enough on his plate. And if we go shared services, we're gonna need someone. So right now, this is a preventative measure to make sure we have something in place. And then running it, I obviously can't do everything that's entailed with it. If you looked at the sheet I sent you, I need support with that. So I'm not looking to get any stipend for it. I'm gonna be out at every major incident anyways. So it's just easier to coordinate. Mark and I have worked through the years well together, administratively and operationally. So I think we're a good fit together. He would run the day-to-day of emergency management and I would oversee it. He would get the stipend involved with it and any pay that would be associated with it. Of course, with that comes a lot of the work that he's going to do that I'm just going to approve or go over. So the stipend that we came up with was a $4,000 stipend a year for the emergency management director position. At the same time, I need help in dispatch, so I was going to appoint him as a part-time dispatcher, but that would be under his duties as emergency management director too, to help oversee dispatch. We have a lot of training things that happen in there that are hard to manage on a regular basis, even for the dispatchers. The way dispatch is set up right now, it's 4 dispatchers full-time, and one's a supervisor, one's a training person, but they do it while they work too. It's really a burden on either one of them to do that. So I was going to help relieve some of those duties and run more efficiently. We run 2 towns, and it's just too much for a dispatcher to do, working a shift and trying to do what they do. Mark has a background in it. He already has maintained our fire run cards, which we needed to find someone to start doing it since he no longer works for the fire department. That's an important part of our duties. A third of our calls are probably medicals, so we need to have someone that can maintain and deal with that. He'll be doing with that. There's a lot of training issues with emergency medical dispatch that Mark is very familiar with, that can help me with. And then secondly is the grants on both ends, dispatch and emergency management. He's done that throughout the years, so he's familiar with it. That in itself will pay for itself with the equipment we get every single year for the town. And then secondly, since taking over as chief, before when I was lieutenant, I managed about $500,000 in E911 grants that have been completed so far. I currently have another $250,000 pending that is already approved that I have to manage, and then I put in for another $300,000. So that one is on the table right now. If I get it, there's a lot to manage. I had Mark out the other day with our radio communication system. We had a couple grants to fix that. We have great equipment according to the people that came out, but we are working on our service right now. We have a
Working what, I'm sorry?
Our service. We have a Boston-based company that installed it, but the service is not where we need it to be. So I've explored other service contracts and try to get our radio communications where they need to be, so if we ever expand with dispatch, we can cover Worcester County. He's already tweaked a few things. Communications are a world of a difference in the past 6 months just with these tweaks from last Thursday. So I'm pretty happy with this new company. We're going to go forward with it, but I need a liaison for that. I can't manage it all. You guys know what I have on my plate with dispatch and the police department, but this kind of falls into that realm. So that's why I don't mind managing it, but I need a worker to do the work. So that's where we came up with it. I would have him on the dispatch end, help me out on that end. That'd be an hourly rate that he would get paid whenever he's doing that work. And the emergency management deputy position would pay $4,000 a year as a stipend.
How many hours a year would you be doing, because you're retired also?
I'm limited to, right now, 960. Now,
960.
there is something on the governor's plate to increase that to 1,200. We're just waiting for him to okay it.
Yeah.
I'm also limited to by pay, so I can only make so much money, so.
Yeah. He
I'm just
won't
trying to help
get
your
any.
wife out
I'll
here.
be close.
Yeah, he won't get anywhere near that with us. It's not there. I think Mark is doing it more for the love of the job and the community than the pay. So,
Sure.
And often he has done that in his position, so I can't think of a better person to work side and side with this type of work.
I move to appoint Dave Kersey as Director of Emergency Management.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to appoint Mark Lucchino as Deputy Director of Emergency Management for a term to expire 6/30/19 with a stipend amount of $4,000.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. I move to appoint Mark Lucchino as part-time dispatcher at the rate of $25 per hour.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you.
I can't tell you how happy I am that
Already back to work.
no, but I am extremely happy about that. I mean, you've been nothing but a model employee, awesome guy in general, and I'm thrilled that you're able to contribute and just for loving to do it. So thank you. And I hope at some stage we're able to more fully implement your recommended approach to emergency management, but at some point I'm sure we will.
Yeah. It's just finances,
Yeah.
take a year-by-year basis, but this is a step in the right direction.
Mhm.
I mean,
That's
and
right.
obviously we need it. I mean, we've been lucky the past decade or so, but, I mean, recently, touchdown in Webster, touchdown in Upton, I mean, miles away from us, major disasters, so weather's changing.
Don't jinx us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Okay, well,
That gets us through
done
everything.
with that. So, it's my turn. I move to enter into executive session under Purpose 3, Master General Law, Chapter, timeout. Do we need this? Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation, as an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares. The Town Hall Union Local 272, Mendon Highway Department Union Local 272, Mass Coalition of Police Union, AFL-CIO Local 188, Mendon Police Civilian Dispatch Union Local 188A, and Mendon Permanent Firefighters Union Local 4936 IAF, and for Purpose 2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. Mendon Permanent Firefighters Association, Mendon Police Association Local 188, Mendon Highway LIUNA Local 272, Mendon Town Hall Employees LIUNA Local 272, Mendon Police Civilian Dispatch, and Fire Chief. Roll call vote is needed. Reconvene only to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Burke, aye.
Schofield, aye.
Real aye. Thank you, everyone.